got this comment on one of my YouTube posts. Okay, so these illustrations pop up now and then and tells the truth on everyone and their evil doings. So what is the source of it? If accuracy and truth is really the key word here, the burden of said accuracy and truth is on you that post this. If you were or are so fully certain of all these things that are listed here, by all means present the facts. It sounds like you have an issue from your personal life concerning someone, something regarding Hebrew, and in this you just drag any and all down with them. Sounds more like your truth than the actual truth. So I just wanted to show you this group in Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, but if you are on Facebook, you should check this out. Hebrew Roots Heresy, the destructive lie of the Hebrew Roots movement and testimony of a survivor. Titus 1:10-11. For there are many insubordinate, both idle talkers and deceivers, especially those of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert the whole household, teaching things which they ought not, for the sake of dishonest gain. The phrase those of circumcision refers to Judaizers, and that is what the Hebrew Roots movement is, a bunch of Judaizers. They don't like to admit it, but that's what they really are. And much of the New Testament is devoted to warning Christians about Judaizers. In the past, there were groups like the Seventh-day Adventist and the Worldwide Church of God, which embraced Judaizing doctrine. But the modern-day manifestation of this heresy, the Hebrew Roots movement, is particularly destructive. They are particularly aggressive and they spread on the internet like cancer. I heard about many families torn apart by the Hebrew Roots movement. They must be stopped because they destroy families and send people to hell. The Apostle Paul is no less adamant about it. Titus 1:13-15. This testimony is true. Therefore, rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men who turn from the truth. To the pure, all things are pure, but to those who are defiled and unbelieving, nothing is pure. But even their mind and conscience are defiled. The Hebrew Roots movement must be rebuked sharply to warn and equip those who are not in the movement and to rescue some who are by the grace of God. The following is the heartbreaking testimony of a reader of this page. Please pray for this reader and his whole family. Thank you. I don't want to give my full testimony, but rather speak on what the Hebrew Roots movement has done to my family and how this is happening to so many other families that are entering into the Hebrew Roots and its likeness. I was in a likeness of this movement for a while, but that's a different story for a different time. Due to the Hebrew Roots and its likeness, my family has divided into shambles, and it does not seem like it can ever be repaired. My mother and stepfather have created sides. Two of my brothers and me on one side, and the other brother and sister siding more with my parents. They are rewarded and favored of the two that sided with them. At first, they researched our beliefs, but the deeper they got into the movement, the more and more intolerant they became. They eventually came to the belief that since we are their children, that we must obey them and join them in the movement, even when we are out of the house and adults in our 20s. I was told that if I did not obey them and start keeping Torah exactly like they do, that I would probably have an early death, citing Exodus 20:12. They stopped speaking to me and would only email me to tell me how wrong I am and how evil I am. This became progressively worse and even led to a split with my mother's family, her brothers, sisters, etc., after she and my stepfather refused to go to my wedding. See, my brother did that. He didn't go to either one of my children's weddings. They start to claim that me and the rest of her family were idolaters who need to change or suffer God's punishment. If I tried to create small talk to simply see how they are doing, they did not respond. They will not speak to me or most of my family on anything except religion. My mother started scouring the internet for some type of dirt on me or my wife and hurt my wife, a woman who she has never met, deeply with her words. This has led me and my wife to block her on social media. She noticed this today and it humiliated her and wrote me an email with this at the end. Please do not call me mom anymore. I am praying that God deals with both of you swiftly for this crime against my good name. Do not reply. I no longer have a son named my name. Needless to say, it hurt, and I don't want anyone to suffer like this ever. I'm not writing a sob story for your sympathy, but rather a warning. And that is exactly why I do it. I just want to warn people. Do not worry about me, as God has showed me that even through my mother forsaking me, that he will receive me into his family. Psalm 27:10. I did not want to write this, but felt it necessary to warn others. I warn you, their arguments in theology may seem logical and correct to you at first, but the deeper you get, the more they control you and build hatred in you. If you are in the Hebrew roots or a likeness now and thinking about joining, please think about what this can do to your family. Please think about what you are doing to your children. For those of you that say that my parents are just bad apples in your movement, please know that my parents are very prominent and loved in the Torah Keeping movement, and they have a large email blog following. They are not the bad apples of your movement. They are the so-called fruit that your movement produces. So once again, I pray that you will not put your family through this. Thank you for reading, and may God bless you. So this is why I warn people. It's not so you can take my personal story and then accuse me of having a personal vendetta against something that a lot of other people are experiencing as well. And I'm not going to read through these comments, but I am going to scroll slow and make it big so you guys can read through them. And if you want to find this, just go to this Hebrew Roots Heresy page.